good evening, good midnight morning. I just want to tap back in because I said I would. Holding to it, but I'm going to make this a quick one. Since it is Sunday evening, and we are about to start a new week. Many of us start our weeks Mondays and whatnot. It's about to be Monday morning. So I've got my thought deck here. Peaches was kind of the theme today. Fuck the pain away. Okay, so I'm going to draw a few cards, get some basics for what this week is looking like. And then later on today, either in the morning or in the evening, some time zone or other, I'll be back later to go more in depth. So yeah, without further ado, let's see what this week's got in store for us. We have a thought that something that popped up in my head just now. I saw the Knight of Cups is the first card that we got. Kind of made me roll my eyes. So I'm so over the masculine energy taking up so much of the femme's year, right? The Two of Cups. This is gonna be this. This year is a year, I think, in which many people are going to find the loves of their lives. A lot of families are going to start, a lot of whatever. Whether or not I agree with that or like want that is different than how the story is playing out, right? This is a time where a lot, if you want to go with counterparts or like a twin flame divine connection, in the union, it seems like the masculine is returning and love is still there. Hello. So this was supposed to be for this week, so it's like I could see the masculine putting time and energy into things this week. I could definitely see things going in the mood of love. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things going in your favor financially on the upswing if you are someone who pays attention to, I don't know, something like stocks or crypto, I guess. Like, I don't fucking care what it is. You can see some upswings in the patterns, right? Played the lottery last week and I got real fucking close. I'm not even gonna lie. It was like a whole thing between me and Leanne at the bus station, but like beautiful how very close I was when somebody suggested to play the lottery. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying you probably just see your investments doubling for you or increasing this week. It's not necessarily about making new investments, though. That's the thing. I'm not saying go out and play the lottery. It's just that if you have already played the lottery, you might have a winning ticket somewhere. And Nine of Cups, happiness. Wow, lots of water energy this week. Appropriate. It is Cancer season. That makes perfect sense. And it would be full of the cups. But yeah, I mean, looking like a pretty solid forecast. The masculine returning essentially to the feminine, but also knowing that water and cups would be aligned with the feminine elements of earth and water, right? So recognizing that it's maybe not even the masculine as much as it could be the feminine, but a lot of the feminines come as masculines. Like the water signs, water sign male, so might be technically the masculine, but like, or I mean feminine. I'm confusing. I'm getting it confusing. Just focus on the story for yourself. Look, Chariot, Cancer. It's just Cancerian energy. Definitely has the parental vibes. It's not necessarily maternal or paternal because it's the Knight of Cups that is a father figure representation, but the water again represents the feminine. And we're seeing the Chariot, which is like it's pretty much smooth sailing ahead. There might be some roadblocks, but there's nothing that's gonna give you a flat tire or stop you for very long, right? You can make stops without having to stop. Art, Sagittarius, it could be a Sagittarius, but creating during this time, especially if you don't want to be a parent necessarily, you can still harness that power of creation into other things. And I think that's really important for people who exist without reproduction because you still harness that power, especially if you are a womb carrier, right? So, and even, I mean, the non-womb carriers got their bits and pieces too. They're like interrupting me, like, "Excuse you." It's the same harnessing power for those male parts, but it is definitely different and not necessarily as powerful. Though that sounds like a bias, it is what it is. It's being able to produce life versus being able to create it, right? So it's nothing against them, nothing against them. People are going to judge me for that one, and that's okay. You still have to speak your truth and say what you need to say. That's the thing. That's going to be the lesson this week. You want to see these things work out in your favor. You want this love. You want this person to return to you. You want to feel the effects and see your own happiness this week. Then you gotta, first of all, you gotta be willing to gamble on yourself. You gotta be understanding of who you are, sitting at your power, in your position to receive these things like happiness and creation. And you have to, just like I just said, people are going to judge me for what I say. People are already do. I say things that I feel are necessary to be said, even if I change my mind or don't always agree with it. I will still speak up on things just for the sake of speaking up on them. It's not that I expect judgment, but I know how to handle it because judgment really is a form of boundaries. So people might have boundaries or ideals that you challenge, and that is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm okay with being judgmental. I embrace it. And so I embrace judgment because without judgment, without critique, we would never make progress as humanity, as people. Like, if you never get feedback and no one ever tells you what's wrong and everybody just acts like, oh, it's great all the time and then goes and talks behind your back, that's counterproductive. Nobody wants that. You have to use your best judgment so you can do what's best for you and help other people see what's good for them too. Like, it is what it is. Like, that is how it is. So embrace the judgment and also, like, be receptive to what people think in a sense. Like, no, you don't owe anybody anything, sure, but actually you probably owe a lot of people a little something, lest we forget. It's a long road. And who paved it? We don't pave the roads we walk down. Someone else paved them before us, right? Take the path less traveled. Somebody already traveled. There's signs everywhere. Even that one, it's all been done. When you think of how many lives are in this lifetime alone and thinking about there's more dead people than alive people, period, for always. Like, there is not really a whole lot. There's just a combination of things left, right? Improbable combinations are becoming possible because all other more probable combinations have already been done. So now we're getting into improbable. This is why I think I am a physics professor, but goddamn if I couldn't do it in school. Fucking college or whatever. Alright, maybe someday people will believe what I say, because it is all in your mind, and it's all in my mind. It just comes to me over time, or through channel messages, because I talk to aliens. What of it? Talks to dead people too. That's why I giggle when I say there's so many more of them than you. Holy fuck, how could you even think you're not even a majority, being a living conscious human? You know what I mean? You're not even a majority. Holy fuck. Like, even if you compare yourself to stars in the sky, you're still not a majority, right? Crazy. This feels random, but it's very on point, don't you think? Because I was going to break out my mystery deck, but I also wanted to keep this short. Simply because I'm cold and I wish to retire to bed. Um, but adjustment. So if you're Libra, consider this your personal message, but also it could be something that unfolds by Libra season because this is the springtime. But it could also be just an actual adjustment period where you're like shifting into these new belief systems and you're kind of coming to terms with the way that things are and you're embracing ideas like the improbable becoming so much more likely that it's actually possible, right? So many combinations, but so many people. Hey, not every single one is gonna work out. That's the whole motherfucking point. You have to, as much as you have to embrace change or embrace judgment, whatever we just talked about, you have to embrace failure. You have to embrace that you could be wrong. And you have to be willing to test your limits and test your judgments or test your ideas and know that if they fail, you will have to rebuild in a new way. You cannot put up the same foundation to a house that didn't survive an earthquake, right? You're going to restructure, you're going to rebuild, you're going to restore. You know, it's 100 years down the line. Hey, maybe we should fix the place up. We don't want to really change its look, but we gotta patch up those bones, right? You have to be ready for your tower moments in life. Especially if you want to get anywhere or build anything, right? I feel like I'm channeling with this deck, which is kind of odd because I don't usually. It feels very alien because I think I said that I was going to use a mystery deck, but then I was biased because I was only choosing one. And I wanted a lighter reading in the peach bag to match my little peach day. Because I didn't go to the beach. I just wore peach. It's my beach day. Happy summer 2022. I am a recluse spider. You know. All right. So we have the Empress, some Earth energy, Taurus energy. I feel like this is the actual Taurus card. I say it every single fucking time. Don't give a fuck. It just makes sense. I don't know what that's for, but same, right? Absolutely agree. The delay is hilarious, right? Because it really, maybe you're Libra, who knows? Knight of Wands, though. So someone very passionate, could be a fire sign. So it could be like this pair of earth and fire coming together. Man, that's weird. I just randomly started coughing. Ah, yes. I love to socialize, but I am quite reclusive. It's a strange balance. So, here's the thing. I streamed earlier for like 40 minutes straight, and I don't remember me coughing like at all. Except for when maybe I was actually hitting the joint, which just now I wasn't. So, somebody watching or gonna be watching this, you might need to get some things off your chest via your throat. Okay, there could be somebody sick or something, but I have a feeling you gotta say something. Yeah, you just gotta speak up. Taurus rules the throat. You know, Taurus rules the throat. So that's why I deliver these messages for people, and I'm all about standing up for yourself, even if I don't do it for myself sometimes. I'm here to remind other people to stand up for themselves. It's what we do. If there's a Taurus in your life, talk to them about needing to speak up for yourself, because they will do it for you if it's really that hard. They will literally do it for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, not an issue for them. They will be the bad guy. They will be the mediator. They will be the support system. They will be the backup, the hype man, whatever you fucking need. Ooh, especially if you're talking to a Leo. Just saying, the lust card, that's Leo in this deck. Prince of Cups could be a baby daddy. Time to make a truce. But you know what? Coming to terms, even if you gotta make court terms, it's just gonna make everything so much more fruitful. Okay? Gotta make peace with your significant exes. So if there's a Leo in your life, repair that shit before Leo season because they will forget about you forever. They'll say, forget it. They're coming to their time, and Leos and Leo seasons are so fucking irritating, so extra, right? Like excessive debauch comes up, and I like Leos for the most part, but unevolved Leos really piss me off. Like, you know, as much as like an unevolved Cancer might irritate me, or be menacing. Leos just piss me off. They're all. But overall, I like them because I'm a fixed sign. I like fixed signs. But if you don't make peace with your Leos now, you're dwindling down to weeks left of Cancer season. There's just this energy that overcomes the lion, and it roars, and it's like, wow, that's so funny. And Pisces and Taurus is supposed to be such a good combo. I bet that's a really lovely relationship you have. She probably thinks you're so weird, and it's awesome. Something like that. Well, she definitely will fight some fucking battles for you if she needs to. It's not even because she's your mom; it's because she's just down. You know. But yeah, once these financial woes pass, maybe need to ask someone to pay you back, and that's a great thing. Third party being like, hey, didn't so and so fucking let you borrow that money? Did you ever even get them back? Because they've been struggling lately, and they came to me asking for help, and I was like, oh, that's so weird, and I didn't know if you ever paid your tab, that kind of thing, if it is a money situation. But things are looking good in the future. Again, we still had all this stuff about the Wheel of Fortune and blah, 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 and maybe new relationships, but also realizing that it can all still fall apart. It's like we think life comes together, falls apart, comes together, falls apart, and then we finally figure it all out and our purpose is revealed and things start to work out in our favor and become what we wanted them to be and what we dreamed. It doesn't just stop. Like the way it works, the way life flows, like doesn't just stop because things finally got to be where you wanted them to be. There's still challenges, there's still going to be hiccups, there's still bumps along the way, there's still road blockades, right? Like it doesn't just stop once things get good. So you have to never be too comfortable, but constantly be embracing all that is. The happy parts, the positive, when things work out, when things don't work out. Sure, you can say you're always being divinely guided, but sometimes you're being divinely guided to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up, like whatever. I feel that all the time, but then I also am like, damn, mistress of the divine, like I gotta come on here and run my mouth. Man, kidding, I don't have to, but don't I have to? Isn't that what I do? Isn't it fucking hitting right now? And that's why I always tell people, don't fucking ask me for a reading, just show up, because I know my girl here is vibing, right? Like she's like spot on, and it might still be spot on for you, secondary view, 80. But it doesn't change the fact that sometimes you only come across the messages that you really need. Yeah, so there might be some kind of dynamic between a earth sign and a fire sign. So this could be, I didn't even know you were here. Thank you for adding that. I love a good antique. Whatever that means. I also feel like this is who I am, is to just fucking tell people like it is, even though sometimes I wish I would just shut the fuck up. And I love to sit in silence. It's about standing up for what you believe in. Morals and values, right? Virtue. Princess of Cups. Being adaptable and being able to change your perspective. So there could be a situation between an earth sign and a Taurus and a fire sign, which obviously there's Taurus in your life. Could be their partner. But it looks like a pretty good situation where this this Taurus or earth sign or feminine is in position, seated at her throne, in her power, got her own shit going on, like that's all gravy. And this masculine's coming in to court her and to bring passion to her and kind of, make the first move kind of energy. So like I think the feminines need to do nothing right now. And the masculines are going to put in the work that you never thought that they would, like crazy, because I have zero faith left in these men in general. So like we'll see, and this could just be a bunch of like women that are fire and air signs for all we know, right? Or however you identify, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying, because it's the divide of the element. It's kind of a joke. I still have no faith in these men. You know that time. Queen of Swords. That will change. That's the thing. The feminines who are masculines are going to change the overall perspective of the collective masculine. Because that's the thing, the way we're categorized or grouped or identify, especially say people who don't identify with either or both genders, right? Neither or both or any. They don't ascribe to the classic male-female roles. Then you have to think they're all being divided amongst their elemental energies and contributing to that collective, that group. So these air signs and fire signs who defy a social norm are still representing the divine masculine, just like in the same regard that water and earth signs are representing the divine feminine. So the way that we all move is a important part of the process to healing the relationship and bringing union closer for people who may consider themselves twin flames or people who are unrequited feelings or long lost hope, kind of romantic, the one who got away stories, right? In some sense of it, a soulmate, okay? Everything all of us do will heal both ends of the relationship in the sense that we make up the collective and that we work together to do this. Thank y'all for the follow. Thank you for joining. It's very broad. Don't ask any questions. There will be a positive interruption, a very feminine influence in the masculine's energy. Basically, is why I said that, is because the Queen of Swords challenges those norms, presenting as queen a feminine, but the air element being masculine. It's like a reminder that in order for these masculine identifying people to heal, right, to take a look at themselves, it's going to take a lot more than just them, the inside or the obvious. It's going to take that, all these other energies, right? It's how we get in touch with each other. It's how we become in union, right? It is a little archaic to just divide it into masculine and feminine, but it's also like, it's more modern to have ascribed roles of gender or sex or birth points to those energies that existed before, kind of like before the modern human did, right? And like so many past cultures didn't identify that way, didn't have these roles, didn't, have always embraced the community of people that exist and have always existed, right? Such an interesting take. I'm not necessarily channeling tonight, but I'm allowing the conversation to flow in whatever direction it needs to. So it's almost like it's like on PBS, and we're like, sponsored in part by. It feels like that. It feels like very cosmic energy tonight. It feels very like outer space vibes, for sure. Rather than like dead people or spirit or something. But maybe it's my higher self. Maybe it's just me. And that's why it doesn't feel like an outside energy, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's coming from my thoughts directly. But it doesn't feel like anyone else is saying it to me. So maybe this is directly from my higher self. That bitch is like, she wears red and green. And I don't even like red and green as a color combination. It's wild. Okay? Like wild. She looks good with gold. It's like a whole thing. And I'm like, man, why do I hate that color combination so much? Like black and pink, or like if I had to choose like a Christmas color scheme, I'm going white, blue, silver, you know what I mean? I'll throw some purple in there, like a white and purple kind of, man. But my higher self, she wears these robes. I don't know. It's crazy. I think she's made out of porcelain too. It's really weird. So maybe she's talking to y'all. I don't know. Because look at what I'm holding. All the colors I just mentioned. Crazy. So yeah. Know where you stand. Know what you believe in. Know what you want to get behind in life. Know what's worth defending. Know what's worth taking the time for. Know what's worth your self, your being. Not even your energy, but your life. People are like, oh, this drains me of my energy. Or like, oh, I hate this job. But it's like, what are you doing in your free time? Are you allowing your decompressing time to bleed into the only free time you have until you sleep. And when you sleep, do you even relax? Because when you dream, sometimes you wake up and you don't even feel rested, right? Or is it just me? That's that time travel shit. That's not all of it. That's my first hint, right? Waking up being like, damn, why does it feel like I didn't even fucking sleep? Why does it feel like I didn't even sleep? I was working so fucking hard. I was working overtime in my dreams and then wake up and I'm on 60 hours this week. Holy fuck. I don't even live, man. And some people will say, oh, it's stress dreams. Okay. But even when I'm like relaxed and not stressed and not working, I'm still having these fucking exhausting ass dreams, right? Something to it. Believe, man, we're coming to the completion of this cycle. I feel like there was a weird, maybe a gate or something open in 2012, and we're in this grand gesture of peace, is what they keep pretty much saying about it. That was the whole idea, is that this was the end of a big era, and people over time kind of stopped believing in that stuff. I think I got into this a little bit on live the other day, but it got very like, there was a kind of a weirdo, not even gonna lie, there was a weirdo in the chat, and I was like, man, don't come on my fucking page and start defending colonialism. It was very weird, but we were kind of getting into how people see evolution as such a past experience and just assume, they've assumed in a way, and they even educate us, at least in the US, to sort of accept that we are peak evolution or peak humanity, even though we see how much we've evolved in such a considerably short amount of time for how far back we carbon date the Earth, right? And so it just feels like people don't realize how much we might be changing on a day, let alone on like a molecular level. And it makes you wonder how DNA, we don't really know how DNA works, right? We like have the genome, we know how genealogy generally works, but they say that we're only using like 3% of our DNA, or we only understand 3% of the genetic coding in our DNA. I might have that wrong. It's just things if I randomly remember from science. I told you I couldn't make grades. I want to be a physics professor so bad. Quantum physics is my fucking jam. What am I even talking about right now? But also, again, I was pulling C's in physics and calculus and stuff. That shit's interesting to me. But this is we are at such a point in we are just vibing. We are at such a point in history in the making, and that's the thing. It's funny that we can talk to each other on the internet, because back in the day things were just as hectic and chaotic, but not everybody knew about it, and even if everybody knew about it, nobody could fucking say shit to anybody except their fucking neighbors and their friends and family. We're not interconnected. We're just so aware of what everyone else is going through, but it's not any different than any other era in history, other than now we have the random factor of technology. People are like, I'm so tired of going to a major historical. Yeah, that's history. That's all of history. There was never a time. There was never a time there wasn't shit going on and people weren't miserable and dying. Like, just because you're now being personally affected or you're being more aware of the world around you doesn't mean that this is a worse time. It's like a very unaffordable time. And like, I do think that we are all struggling, but a lot of people, even in this lifetime, are like, yeah, we've been saying this for fucking decades. Way to not listen to us. Versus people who are like, wow, I can't believe they just did that. I'm finally fed up. Like, oh, welcome to the fucking party. Congratulations for dancing this long. Honestly, I'm impressed you were on the floor until past midnight. Like, some people were not even invited to this party, right? And I'm not saying I fall in that category. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, it's a very strange, almost kind of lack of awareness, but clearly a lot of us are aware. It's just, again, it's not what's being taught as common culture or appropriate education or like the collective perspective. It's on the rise, maybe. But that's the thing is, you're never looking in the right direction. And no, I mean, The crowd is always looking at the stage. We had a stage analogy in the last reading I did too. It was like a whole theater production thing. Like, I don't even remember why. But that's the thing. You can't just like look at the stage and be like, wow, they put on such a good show. It's like, whoa, look beyond the stage, look behind the stage, look at the side stage, look at the crowd, look at the fucking vendors and the bartenders and how many people are here doing this in their roles, having their own personal experience. If all you do is see the stage, you are never going to find what you're meant to see. I loved that. That was so nice. If you are always staring at the stage, you'll never find what you're meant to see. Because you're supposed to be like, damn, I could be on that crew. I could be in that group. I could be on this street for the rest of my life if I wanted to, right? You gotta look to see. People these days are looking at a screen. You're looking at your own echo chamber at this point. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, go find a fucking place you don't fit in and say some shit. Get them thinking about it. It might hurt. I'm pretty tough and loudmouth, but I'm sensitive because I'm deep, and I will think about things for a long time to decide how I really feel about them. And sometimes I regret things that I do or say, and sometimes I am glad I did it or said it. Right? You gotta be accepting of your tower moments if you want the wheel to keep on turning. Right? This is some really beautiful stuff. I think I might go, though. I want to make it quick. I was thinking 20 minutes. It's been 30. I probably could go for a little longer, but I just didn't want to. I wanted to sleep a little bit. And I will be back, like I said, maybe in the morning if I fit it in. Because my day job is around, but time and energy and attention consuming. So, we shall see how it goes down. But for now, I just wanted to do a little introduction of how this week is going to look. But I think this was kind of a general, like, the rest of Cancer season. We touched in a little bit on Leo season and Leos in general. So later, either it could be not till the evening when I'm off duty. Like I said, I'm going to try to fit it in the morning. But if I don't, good evening. New journey, man. I enjoyed you. It was really great to have you. I don't know how to say this, but it's like your name, but I like Cassie's and I like Dink Ink, kind of twin wind type ones. So I thought it was cute. I dropped love, 2 of Cups. Something you may have dropped, a relationship or a connection you may have dropped. It's time to bring that shit back up. I don't know, something's retrograding right now, or why the fuck I'd give that advice, but also I do believe that people deserve second chances, even if it's your exes. It's weird that people are so okay with hating their exes and so uncomfortable with people being friends with their exes. Like, I'm sorry, but isn't it better that we were like as close as 2 people can be and now we still get along because we're not terrible people and we're grown enough to understand that maybe we need to change the dynamic of our relationship, but we've invested so much time and love into each other that we don't want to completely let go. We can adapt. How is that less mature than I fucking hope they die? The fuck? I hate them, they're crazy. I hope they never move on. Like, why is that okay? Why is it okay? People like really will harp on other people for being like this and that when it's like, get your own shit in check. The way you think is messed up. Even if you can hold your shit together and you don't like freak out or like react in a certain way, it's like, man, that mentality is kind of gross and really sort of scary. Like, y'all, are you okay? Like, what the fuck? And man, if you do hate what somebody did to you, pray for them. Like, not everybody can be that mature, but one of my little whatever. Think I haven't been hurt? Think I haven't been used? Haven't been, rejected or left? I have. Even this, it's very hard to understand. But I also sympathize with people who would do that to someone like me, right? So I could hold animosity, like so many people do. Or I can choose to continue to love the people that I have loved from a distance, in a new way, in a different capacity, for a different reason, for a new chance at my own healing from whatever damage may have come, right? That was kind of random, especially when I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. And it was like, bitch, now you're just showing off. Queen of Discs again, go talk to your mama, okay? I don't know what time zone you're in, and especially if you're pregnant, Jesus Christ, just kidding, but also, right? You'll be alright. You'll be alright. Fuck your morals. It's time to go interrupt that shit. Shake things up a bit. Yeah, you know what you gotta do. Come to terms with things, make a truce, come to an agreement, blah, blah, blah. Remember, creation can be metaphorical. Yeah. Just ride out Cancer season. Got the Chariot and the Five of Swords. So, yeah, ride it out. I think this was actually a really dope reading. I wasn't really expecting it to be like so deep and enjoyable, even for me. I hope it was good for you. I am gonna go for real this time. The Magus at the bottom of the deck, that's fake magic, okay? There is a magician in this deck, and while a Magus is technically a magician, this shit's fake magic. Aleister Crowley told me so. And I know we don't always fuck with that guy, but people learn a lot about life and death and not the other way around. So when I talk to them from the beyond and they say things, and I understand where they're coming from, because they finally understand where they're coming from, I'm getting that accent, so somebody is trying to come out. Somebody does want to be channeled, but I have to inside and I'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Whoever this is, we will do it tomorrow. I'm gonna be more regular with this shit. Like I said, I finally landed. But somebody's using fake magic. We'll find out who. Part 2. Okay. I love you. Thank you for being here. Very good midnight morning. Good night. Good luck. All that stuff. And hopefully I'll see you next time. And cool. Yeah. See ya. Love you. Thanks. Great. Bye. Until the next. Hi.